still no artwork yet for Gears, but he's in testing and we're trying to iron out the ability for the time being. So not many changes to Gears, but we have given ability 11 now, which sort of extends the area of the glass gas. Testing last week with ability of 10 and increased to 11, but we've now got the G1 core. So we've got the complete bot of maxed out ability 11 with the G1, and the G1 core increases special ability damage by 15.5%, which is the same as the volatile mixture, and sets the target on fire, dealing approximately 75% of the bot's damage. So yes, it does more than a volatile mixture, as in totally, but it does the same initial damage then does fire damage. Now we talk about the being anti-fire cores, so it will negate the fire damage. So I kind of don't like the fire element included in the G1, but it is something a bit extra. But again, what sort of hit me with this was, it sounds a bit familiar. So we've got Gears here. So I was testing in an area. So when we put the glass gas in a small area, and I say small area because it is quite a small area, it does really good. So let's just look at some stats for a moment. So it says transform for 10 seconds and launch missiles that deal 2,752 every second in an area. So we put him down. So we're going to put his ability down there. I'm going to zoom in. So you can see there, glass gas in a huge area. You see there, 2,037 damage. But you see there that he's actually doing a bit less damage to other targets. Let's have a look at that again. So I'll set up a bit of a testing environment. I like to do this, sort of push it to see if it's doing the right numbers, if it's doing the right thing, and what I expect it to be doing. So by reading that ability, it says 2,752 damage every second for 10 seconds. For me, that's 27,500 damage. But it also does 75% of the bot's DPS. So we could probably add about 700 damage. So I would say comfortably it will do 28,000 damage to these defenses in an area. So we've got Shock Tower here. That's got 13,200 and 13,200. There's no Micronus or anything in the area. So we're looking at about 26.5k damage. So with the ability and with the fire damage added on top of the glass gas, it should absolutely smash these two defenses, because you've got 27k damage plus an extra about 1,700 smart. So you got 28k damage and an extra 40% from glass gas. You're talking like 35k damage. Now when you say 35k damage, that's really impressive. It's a lot of damage. So we've got 26k, 26.5k, so it should absolutely annihilate these. So when we put the damage in an area, you see the glass gas doesn't quite reach this other one, but it should still take it out. It's still the 27k damage, but you can see there that all of a sudden he's doing less damage on this side than he did on that side. So why is that? Why is it he's doing more damage to this one target than the other? Now you could say, oh, it's because of the glass gas, but we've just said he should be doing 27.5k without the glass gas. So just to clear up, 27.5k damage over 10 seconds, then that'd make it 28k, including his G1 and the glass gas on top. So this time I'm going to use ability. I want you to watch the numbers carefully. So you see the 1939, 1939, 4,000, 195,000, 6,000. All of a sudden here, 1327, 42, 1328. The numbers are lower on this side. And the reason for that is, what Space Ape have done is, when they've calculated his damage of 27k, this is 27.5k damage when under the glass gas. So the problem is that when it's hitting the targets that is already hit with glass gas, then with the glass gas, it's doing 27.5k damage per second. When the glass gas doesn't hit a target, it's doing 40% less. It's doing like 1,800 damage. So how this should read is, his missiles deal 1,800 damage every second. because then it's added onto the glass gas. I'm not sure why they calculated that it does 2,700 damage when on top of glass gas. The glass gas is extra. It shouldn't be included in the description for how much damage he's doing, because if he's not hitting the glass gas, he's not doing 2,700 damage. So I think that that's really misleading, because if you have two defenses that have 27k health and you think, yeah, he can take that out, no, they are really close together, yes, but after that is not doing that amount of damage. For me, it's kind of false advertising. It's kind of a clever way to make it look better than what it actually is. So that's my first problem with the bot. My second problem then is that we've got, just pay attention to the screen as such right now, because it looks all too similar. We've got the same logo. Now that could change after testing, but it kind of does the same thing. It fires missiles. So you fire missiles, okay, this is doing 10k damage, but don't forget, that's 10k damage in an area to multiple defenses. So if you put Prowl's damage in the middle of two defenses, it will do 10k damage to two targets, so it will do 20k. So, alright, this one is 6 plus 2. Gears is 5 plus 2. It's one cheaper. But Gears is actually doing the same damage pretty much as Prowl. Then you look at the G1, 15.5%, set things on fire, 75% of his damage. You look at Prowl, 15.5%, set it on fire, 75% of the damage. So they've basically took Prowl and gone, let's just give him damage over time. Let's kind of make him a bit worse, but lower his cost. So again, on this channel, I always talk about new content being better than old content. Well, in this case, they've took old content and copied it and made it the same. And for me, I love it when new G1 bots come out. I love G1. I always say that my lore knowledge outside of G1 is not the best, but I love G1. All my Transformers that I've got are G1. I've watched every single series of G1, every single episode, constantly over and over and over, to the point where I could probably recite every single episode. I love G1 cartoon Transformers. So when I get a G1 bot, and I'm going to say this word, and I'm picking my words carefully, we lazily just copy an old bot. I started to think back to why, when Fabian left, I was in a way glad a bit, and when he came back, I was also glad. And I thought, I'm glad Fabian's back. He's got a good knowledge of the game. He was always kind of bug free, his content. But then I thought to myself, why was I quite happy though when Fabian left and we got new testers in? And this was the reason that he kind of ran out of ideas for the game. And when you create so many bots like he has, I kind of get it a bit. But we're going back into that thing again of just overdoing old content with a slight tweak. Is it laziness? No, maybe not. Is it lack of insight? Maybe. Lack of imagination? I don't know. But for me, it's just poor content. It's just very, very similar to what we've already got. Now, if this was similar as well to, say, Blue Streaking Away, I'd be like, okay, but now we've got two overpowered bots, but at least it's content worth chasing. At least it's good content. I don't mind it too much. But we're comparing a brand new bot to a bot that came out 10 years ago nearly. 10 years old content. This content was designed around HQ 16. Alright, yeah, he got ability 11 to increase the damage in an area more, and he got a G1 to make him a bit more relevant. But he didn't bring him out the meta and all of a sudden bring him from an okay bot to unbelievable. He was still an average bot back then. He was an average bot in HQ 16. He fell away from the meta in HQ 17, and HQ 18 is not used at all, as in zero. You will not see Prowl being used in Prime League Wars. So why, after us talking about new content being used at the top level of the game, new endurance bots being war worthy, why are we now developing a bot that is very similar to a bot that is not war worthy, that is not viable at the highest levels of the game? I think that looking at Gears, I think the initial damage needs to be 27.5k plus gas. I hope that is a bug and it's been missed, because as it is right now, it's quite poor. If it's just 27k on top of Glasscast, I'm not too bothered. There's still time to change his G1. So if we have a bug in him and his G1 is open to be changed, I might be sat here next week going, you know what, guys, I take it back. They pulled it out of the bag. They've had to think about it. And he's actually a bit better than Prowl and he can do some decent damage in an area. But I don't think so. I really think they've run out of time already. We got it nice and early, but I think they've kind of set their standout on this is what I want. And the frustrating thing is in playtest, all I see is, I like this bot. This bot is good. And I'm sat there thinking, but have you ran the numbers? Have you looked? He's not doing the numbers that he really should. And he's Prowl. I don't understand how anyone can sit there, use this bot, and go, I like this bot, when he's Prowl 2.0. And that is basically what I am going to call him, unless he gets some changes. It is Prowl 2.0. It isn't Gears. It's just Prowl 2.0. They might as well just give Prowl a bit of a buff. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know in the chat. Have I got it wrong? Is there something I'm missing about this bot that you think would be really viable? Do you see a use for this bot that can be really good? Let me know in the comments what you guys think.